All right, hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, otherwise known as Miss Champagne, and welcome to Growing by Faith. Today I'm going to be talking about ways to protect your young seedlings now that it's time to transplant them out in the garden. If you're new to my channel, I live in Zone 10A, which is West Central Florida, and it is September and it is our annual garden season. So, I am transplanting some of my cabbages, and I've got some broccoli rabe back there. And over here I've got some of the Desico broccoli, some of my collards, and the early golden cabbage. The first thing that I like to do, number one, since we are in Florida and this is hurricane season, is check the weather. You don't want to be putting your young babies out here when it's a hurricane coming. We don't have one coming right now. That could change in a week, but hopefully they'll be established and old enough to handle. Usually it's the rain that's the most damaging. The second thing I do is wait to transplant them till they reach a decent size. Again, I like at least 4 to 5 true leaves before I transplant them out, because everything is going to want to eat your seedlings. From the cabbage moths to the mealworms and potato bugs, roly-polies, everything in the soil. So you want to make sure that you are setting your seedling up for success. The third thing I do is try to cover it, okay? In those first few weeks in September, we still have a lot of pest pressure. So any type of insect netting you can find, these are actually the umbrellas that you use at like picnics to cover your platters to keep the flies and stuff from landing on your food. They're great to use if you don't need to cover the whole bed. Otherwise, you can do like roll covering, which I have to dig out of my shed, which I do have, where you can cover the entire bed. So like I have thyme here that doesn't need to be covered. My marigolds don't need to be covered. But here, while I have the cabbages, I can cover those individual plants. The fourth thing I like to do is interplant. Now in the fall, it worked really good for me last year. Is I interplanted a few different things. Number one, marigolds. They can help deter pests because the flowers put off a scent that most cabbage moths don't like. I also plant a lot of calendula. These are some volunteers from last year. I have a nasturtium coming up, volunteer from last year. I will be planting out some more. And then I also plant onions. So this is an onion that came up. I'm going to be planting some garlic in here as well. It probably won't bulb up like I need it to, but I'll sacrifice it if it helps to keep the pest off of my plants that I want to eat. So your onions and garlics, again, things that are going to produce a scent that the moths don't like, so they usually won't bother it. You can use basil, you can use dill. A lot of those herbs help propel the pest from landing on your crops. So those are just some easy tips that you can do. The fifth thing is how to prevent the roly-polies. Now I already lost one. Could have been to ants or cutworms or roly-poly, I'm not sure. That I planted here, that I came out the next morning and it was just one leaf left and the whole plant was gone. Or you'll just see the stem and the top of the plant is gone. I use, you can use a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll. You're going to cut them in about 1.5 inch segments. So maybe about here, and then you'll put this around the base of your plant. Let me show you. All right, so I'm going to be planting some of this early golden cabbage. We're going to pull out any weeds that we see. We're going to put that in there. Now I'm going to take my paper towel roll. I'm going to cut a little slit around it, and then you're simply going to wrap your seedling. And you want to make sure your sides are kind of overlapping. And I'll show you guys up close. That way it prevents the cutworm from getting to the stem of your plant, and the roly-polies typically won't bother it. Let's put that right in the middle. If they sense the cardboard. Going to press it into the soil a little bit, making sure that it overlaps some. And you don't have to worry about removing it, because the cardboard will just biodegrade and break down into your soil. All right, so you can see it kind of puts a little protective barrier around your young seedlings. I'm just going to leave this here so I remember what type of cabbage this is until I can get some labels. So that's just 5 easy ways to protect your young transplants as you are putting them out in the garden, because it is September and it's time to get that fall garden planted. Hope you guys enjoyed this content and get to gardening. Love you guys. Bye.